up in Wet'suwet'en all my life. I grew up Wet'suwet'en. Collaboration's very important. You can't just tell people what to do or how to do it. You need to work alongside with our people and get a good understanding of who we are.
The kids are our future. Having them stay in our culture and know what our culture is, it's invaluable.
I was very disconnected because I was removed at the age of 3 by MCFD from Wet'suwet'en, placed here in Prince George.
Their legislation, the Ministry of Child and Family of British Columbia, does not work for us.
Watching family members have children and not have the capacity to be able to take care of their children. Naturally, I stepped into that role as a care provider, and my family very early on recognized that I chose a education pathway to support our nation through addictions and mental health. That was the very early stages of my helping. But in doing that, I also then stepped into a role of being able to take care of youth in care.
We are desperately looking for more homes for our children that are in care, to really keep them connected and to be a part, really understand who they are and where they belong.
So the Urban Prevention Office in Prince George is the first satellite office for our Wet'suwet'en membership. And the importance and significance of having this space is having a safe space for our members to come to. Leading up to now, MCFD would lead the meetings and tell us what the meeting was going to be. So now when they call it, actually, no, we'll call the meeting and have you come to our office. And we're having a peace day. So we're taking the power back as a Wet'suwet'en nation and saying, this is how we're going to run it. This is what's going to happen. And so they're coming into our space and they're learning more about us and our Wet'suwet'en ways.
Today, we are making a breakthrough. It's an important role for us connecting these children to their extended family. When we talk with the ministry, the provincial and the federal government about our children, I tell them that I don't want my grandchildren sitting at this table talking about the same thing we're talking about now. The children that are here, that's who we are doing it for. Reconnecting them, grounding them as to who they are as children. My vision is to have the Wet'suwet'en children to live what I lived growing up, utilizing the land, sitting in a feast hall, meeting all my relatives, my father clan, and my extended family.
It was such an emotional time for my husband and I because we wanted to have kids so bad.
We'd like to give a special thanks to our caregivers. These are the people that take on children to look after them as their own. I asked the social worker at the time, who makes these decisions where the child goes? She told me, Victoria.
The kids, time to make some noise, kids. Let's see how loud the kids can get. Oh, I think you can get louder than that.
My vision for Wet'suwet'en children and families is that they would have adequate support. Nice, safe place that children can grow up and become who they are.
I want to thank everybody for coming out here. I want to thank the children for being here. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart that I love each and every one of you. There's so much love for everybody in this building, all the hard work that people do to keep our children safe and to provide a right.
I love our people. That's plain and simple. I love our people. We need to have a strong sense of self-determination like what we used to have to make our own decisions.
My client's first time going back to...
Some of the hardships would be that feel of disconnect. It's hard to make it back home for events. It's hard to get out on the land. And that's who we are. That's as a Wet'suwet'en, we are the land and the land is us. And if you're not connected to the land and you're not connected to the community events, it could be almost like an unbalanced wheel. So getting connected with not only our culture but the chiefs as well was very enriching in my life. It played a big role in how I go about my day-to-day life.
It doesn't matter where the children are, they're still our children. It's important to keep them connected to who they are.
I realized that I had the capacity and the ability to take in other children in my home. And that's when I knew that this was my calling. My purpose really is, that big piece around social responsibility. The title we have is Urban ANABIP, and ANABIP is Anuk Nu At'en Ba'glgh'iyi. That means we're talking about our ways. And we provide services across the province for Wet'suwet'en regardless of where they reside. The types of services that we offer is strong advocacy. We've got some amazing frontline workers advocating for those that don't have a voice.
In 2017, I was asked by my auntie to care for my niece. She was a really lifesaver to my husband and I's family. Her two older siblings were actually in foster care already. I told the social workers, I said, you know what, she has two older siblings that are in care. I want them to grow up in the same household. I didn't want her to question, why are they moved somewhere else? Why are they in a different household?
Another big piece of the work that we do across the province is ensuring that our Wet'suwet'en children, youth, have a connection to our Wet'suwet'en culture. Our feast is our governance system. We have all the hereditary chiefs in attendance along with matriarchs. We bring the drumming, the singing. We make sure that we're bringing our culture to our urban membership. A lot of the families that we work with have multiple barriers at times. We're finding that when we're reconnecting them to our language, our culture, that's been an avenue of giving them a strong sense of who they are, where they belong.
They relied on these programs, these programs and services, including the feast. So in honor of Nikita and Nikisha and all of the children, they support this work.
If it wasn't for them.
So we provide a number of services under the Human and Social Services Department. We work with children all the way up to our elders. Each program is entrenched with our Wet'suwet'en culture. We provide some education, some guidance, support, advocacy, whatever our families may need. So one of the things that is in our mission statement is to work with all Wet'suwet'en no matter where they reside. It allows for not only growth with Wet'suwet'en but as individuals too. And it allows our families to feel supported. There's a number of things that they're connected to. If there was one thing that I can add to the Human and Social Services Department is having jurisdiction over our own children in care. And I think that's a really important piece. We should have a say in where our children go, who they go with.
Building a strong connection to their families and their culture.
I'm a cultural planner for the Urban ANABIP program. A cultural plan is a document that was created by our hereditary chiefs. I'll work with the social worker and the caregivers and the children to make sure they stay connected to their families, keeping them connected, but also keeping the social workers accountable. They had to do what the chiefs asked, which is to keep the children connected with each other, with their mother, and with their chiefs.
The beauty behind having the Urban ANABIP program is our frontline workers show up in a big way, and they're there to advocate and stand alongside our families that are going through a difficult time already. How our frontline workers show up. We've had the ability when mom, dad don't have the capacity right now to care for their kids, we're able to find extended family members or immediate family members to step in and take on that role. But we do a lot of reaching out to local resources and advocating. So it's building relationships throughout the city with all the other organizations that are here. The same thing is also building those important relationships with the bands that they're from. There's beautiful work taking place across the province.
Bringing these events has brought a lot of joy to our people.
Mom just couldn't keep it together, so the baby is in a foster home. This is heartbreaking. So my heart and my love goes out to all the caregivers.
Our matriarchs have been the advisors to the decision-making for the wellness of our people and the sustainability of our nation. The discussions around the safety, the well-being, who is going to nurture, who is going to caretake, and what roles are being identified in our children are very carefully looked at before our matriarchs decide where our children are going to go. That is how I remember watching the women in my life make those decisions. And that's a very important role. We come from a matriarchal society.
Such a huge life change for my husband and I, and for my children that are, they're my kids. And raising them in the same household and knowing that this is my family. I get to raise them in a household that is culturally enriched in a safe environment that is drug and alcohol free. It was such an emotional journey. 4 years of going in and out of the court systems, appearing before a judge, talking to lawyers, and having ANABIP Prevention Program standing with us, standing behind us, supporting us those 4 years. It was amazing to have that support. My daughter's 7 now, so 7 years of being a parent and being in that role of a caregiver, and then coming full circle to being hired on as an ANABIP prevention worker. I'm still trying to take everything in because right now I'll be helping parents that were in my position that are still going through the process, still talking to the courts, still talking to social workers, and still trying to get their children back. So I'll be there supporting them, knowing that I was there 7 years ago.